If you check the tag on a Hollister shirt, it might say, "Made in Vietnam," and this is where it begins. A worker's normal day begins with clocking in to a digital fingerprint machine. Then they proceed to their stations, where they do the same job over and over again with little break. 85% of workers feel comfortable enough to confront supervisors when something is going wrong. Most all textile workers are women. They are given a full hour to eat in a cramped lunchroom where they can socialize but not leave campus. Workers are allowed to access disgusting bathrooms whenever they need during their work. Each worker has to clock out and get patted down before leaving work. Most workers' transportation is scooters. Most workers suffer from headaches. Vietnam's wage to their workers are one country that pays workers a living wage. They base that living wage off the national wage councils. Here's a factory from the outside. Notice how long it is, allowing for maximum machines and maximum profit. This is where a textile worker would typically live. Has a rapid growth every year. GDP is the amount of money in the country divided by the number of people living there. Overtime includes extra pay. An average worker completes between 450 to 600 hours a year. How can we help? Or is it barely enough? We couldn't find any labor or environmental policies on the Hollister website. When talking to 3 different people, none of them would share their policies with us. Hollister is owned by Abercrombie. On their website it said Abercrombie will not tolerate the use of child labor or any forced labor. Vendors must provide safe, clean, healthy working spaces, working 60 hours per week. The only thing I found on their environmental policies was they must impact the environment as minimally as possible. According to outside sources, government of Uzbekistan continues to remove children for school and forcing them to pick cotton. 2 companies have refused to speak out, including Abercrombie. When we contacted Hollister, the chat got ended after asking why they didn't know the policies of their workers. And the second time, someone had talked about a link that had all the information on it, which wasn't true. They're also found as part of sandblasting in 2013 in China. We couldn't find much because they don't tell people about social and environmental causes. Hollister clothes are made with 65% polyester and 35% viscose, which are not the most environmentally friendly of materials. Polyester is caused by acid and alcohol being reacted in high vacuum temperatures. This is then made into a sort of ribbon, which will be cut into tiny chips to be heated. The polyester is now stretched out and cut into appropriate lengths to be turned into the material that are woven into clothes. Polyester is made with high quantities of oil, which is a non-renewable, destructive resource, harming the environment. Polyester, being incapable of being dyed by natural resources, artificial dyes are used, which when disposed of pollute waterways, further destroying our natural world. Hollister's other material not being much better. Viscose is made using cellulose and highly toxic chemicals, which have made their way outside this product during its production, these being highly dangerous to human health as well as the environment. Working through the process, many high fuel and pollutant-releasing machines polluting the air and damaging workers' lungs. Just the process alone to make the materials used in Hollister's clothing is harmful. But the added conditions do not help the health of the workers. Factory conditions are dangerous, with injuries being a common occurrence. The harvesting of such materials forcing everyone into labor, to include children. Polyester and viscose are both primarily being made in Bangladesh and Vietnam. A factory in Bangladesh suffering a horrifying tragedy, killing over 200 people and injuring an additional 2,000. However, do not fret. We can still take action. We need to start by divising our money away from major companies such as Hollister that use poor conditions. Rather, we need to invest in fair trade clothing. As of right now, workers are working for 60 hours a week, receiving the most a 13 cents hourly wage. Environmentally, we are also at risk of collapse. At the rate we are going, the world will perish from the mass pollution. Clothing made from recycled polyester are eventually sustainable, preventing millions of plastic bottles making their way into our dumps. Using these various plastic resources, it is then broken down into pellets, which are melted and stretched out into fibers that will go into our clothing. If we take a stand now, then we can save our future and someone else's. Don't throw away that shirt, instead recycle it. Don't contribute to the problem. Turn it into rags, fabric, or turn into a recycling center to be reused. So take a moment and think before buying a shirt. What were the costs to make it?